Alright guys, so this is going to be a little bit quicker one. I'm going to get into it. I think right now, out of everything that's happening politically, economically, socially, anything that you can think of, especially domestically, that might actually relate to your life, I'm going to just say right now, everything that we need to do is not just on a Republican or Democratic side. It's an American side. Things are beyond political parties, and if you haven't figured that out, then um, you need to. You need to look at both sides, look at a third angle, look from a third perspective, look from another angle, which is called yourself personally, and think about what your life means in this world that we're living in now. All right, the world we're living in now is different than it was 10 years ago. It's different than it was 5 years ago. And I mean, everybody's in a different place than they were 5 years ago. So think about 5 years from now and a different place that you'll be from now. Life changes, adaptations need to occur. Like Darwin said it the best, he said it, not the strongest or the fittest will survive, but the most that are adapt, the ones that can adapt to their environment. And I mean, I really do believe that's true because there's an evolution going on, and you can't define evolution as something that's not true or from a Christian point of view as being something that's false. I mean, evolution does exist in real nature, and that's undeniable. Now, as far as you want to go with the beginning of the worlds, let's not even go there. That doesn't even matter. Let's look at where we're at now. The present matters, and we're in the present. And the present is very intense, and it is tense around the world. We have many nations involved, and more getting involved every day. And the craziest part of it all is we as Americans have a lot of power, financially, economically, and politically. All the way I stated at the beginning. Everything that actually matters to you, America has some kind of role in. And it's because we've been the reserve currency of the world. It's because we've dominated in a lot of different ways, especially militarily. But it's not about domination. Life is about coexistence. All right, and I don't mean just tolerance, like giving in and compromising. I mean coexistence. I mean there are two polar ends of the spectrum. There could be two complete opposite extremes, and there's a place where we can all meet in the middle, and it's called liberty. It's called living the way you want to live without anyone interfering, including the government. The government is the biggest interference right now. And if we have that many interferences in our lives, then that has to be the focal point. And to look at reality in the focal point of now is being the American government dictating the world. All right, we're trying to rule the UN. We got a new nomination for the World Bank. I mean, look at what's going on. If you're not aware of who's militarily ruling and dominating and occupying the world, it's America. All right, let's just get down to it. It's America. All right, now let's take it from there. We are dictating the world. We have a lot of power. Now, economically, we're starting to decline because everything that the dollar was with the reserve currency around the world is starting to be a little less confident. People are not feeling it. Like the way that we had sanctions on oil, the way that we're sanctioning Iran right now, that's a good example. We're sanctioning Iran because we can actually politically and environmentally change their world, okay? Now, what would happen one day if people could change our world? Now, you haven't thought of that, right? Because we're really powerful. We are dominating. But let's just put it in that perspective for a second, okay? Everything is changing. 5 years from now will be different, okay? And here's the way reality works, okay? Right now, there are choices you can make that dictate the future. There are choices other people can make that dictate the future. But all you can control is yourself. Therefore, if you can control yourself, I would suggest making the most wise decisions. And if we were to make the most wise decisions right now, I think we'd be a lot more in Ron Paul's camp. And I know there's a lot of closet Ron Paul people out there because For some reason or another, you can't get on board with that Ron Paul train. And I don't know why, because it's been very easy as he's come out and explained to people more than a politician has ever explained to people. We are the people. And you know, we have a mandate called the Constitution, and it's been undermined for so long that now it doesn't almost even exist. And for Obama to even acknowledge the Constitution, that's kind of funny. You know, he used to be a constitutional lawyer. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything right now because, if anything, he knows the Constitution enough to go against it. And that's all you got to know. Alright, so I told you I'd make it quick. Here's the bottom line. It's beyond Republican, it's beyond Democrat. I like current TV, and there's a lot of liberals on there. I'm obviously a very strong libertarian that believes in pure liberty and free markets, okay? And and they obviously believe in big government. But you know what's funny is they are realists and I'm a realist, and we can connect on certain levels that some of these banker establishment politicians cannot connect with us. In fact, they don't want to connect with us. Look at Mitt Romney, perfect example, cannot connect to the normal human being. That's why everybody in the Republican Party has no grassroots or any actual local level involvement for him. I mean, it's just not there. He has to pay people to be there and hold signs that have been made with grassroots signs that were not made by the original owner of that sign. So we have a lot of discrepancy here amongst the Republican Party in general. We have a lot of discrepancy here amongst the Democratic Party since Obama has done everything against his promises that he offered with the hope and change. Hope and change. Believe me, he said it so many times, it was hope and change that you believed in, and you didn't get any of that. Alright, so realism reigns true. Let's look at reality for what it is, and let's not try and differ or pretend that things are different, okay? So here's the way it is. We've gotten down to the bottom of it. Bankers are at the top, we're at the bottom, and they're continuing to extract our wealth. What do we do about it? We come together as America. I was explaining how there are liberals, and I'm a libertarian, and we can correlate, we can connect, we can help change our environment. That's what I suggest. I suggest going beyond party lines. That's such a figment of our reality, and if you truly believe it, then you believe it like a religion, and it's become your second religion. So let's just evolve.